Good evening. I'd like to call the City Council Budget Hearing Meeting of Monday, September 18th, 2023 to order. If I can have the City Clerk please call the roll.
Mayor Flores.
Present.
Deputy Mayor Noble.
Here.
Councilmember Tharp.
Present.
Councilmember Dugo is absent. Councilmember Diaz.
Here.
And Councilmember Bousquet.
Here.
Mayor, we have a quorum.
All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. All right. Before I get to the agenda approval, I do have a quick note. The applicant for item 15 and 16 is requesting that resolution 2023-16 and 2023-17 be moved to October 2nd of 2023 council meeting to be held at 6 p.m. The applicant has submitted conditions of approval to the city's attorney, which the city attorney has provided comments. They need a little bit more time. I'm asking that we have a motion to move those items to, once again, October 2nd, 2023 to 6 p.m.
Mayor, I'll make a motion to move those items to the October 2nd agenda.
Second.
All right, I have a motion made by Councilmember Diaz, second by Councilmember Bousquet. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, that motion carries 4-0. All right, at this point in time, I'd like to open comments from the public for agenda items only. Anyone wishing to speak on any agenda item, please come forward, state your name and address for the record. We'll get to that. Okay. Anyone else, any comments regarding agenda items? No? All right. All right, seeing no comments, we're moving on to our second budget hearing, fiscal year 2024 proposed budget. Our first item tonight is public hearing for ordinance 2023-11, second reading. If I can have our city clerk please the ordinance by title.
Ordinance 2023-11, second reading, establishing a taxable valuation and levying an ad valorem tax on property located within the corporate limits of Green Acres, Florida, as of the year ending December 31st, 2023, providing for repeal of conflicting ordinances, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. And tonight we have our Director of Finance, Terry Berger, and our City Manager, Andrew McHugh, presenting.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Let me move some things here. As was done at the September 5th, 2023 budget meeting, there are certain things that we need to go through and read into the record as part of adoption of the city's budget. So if you will indulge me, I will go through and read those items before the council considers and opens the public hearing for ordinance 2023-11 and 2023-12 on second reading. Florida Statute Section 200.065 specifies the procedural steps that must be followed by each unit of local government in the preparation and approval of the government entity's property, tax millage levy, and annual budget. In accordance with these regulations, the certified taxable property values as of July 1, 2023, provided by the Palm Beach County Property Appraiser, will be used to determine the ad valorem tax proceeds in the calculation of the fiscal year 2023-24 budget. Taxing authorities must hold 2 public hearings to adopt a millage rate and a budget. This evening's hearing is the second public hearing of the City of Green Acres to adopt a tentative millage rate and budget for fiscal year 2023-24. The tentative millage rate and budget must be adopted by separate votes pursuant to direction provided by the City Council at the budget workshop held on July 17th and the budget meeting held on August the 12th. Staff has prepared 2 ordinances required by the truth and millage process for approval by the City Council. The ordinance to establish a taxable value and set the ad valorem rate, which is ordinance 2023-11, must be passed first, followed by the ordinance to adopt the budget, which is ordinance 2023-12. The first ordinance, ordinance 2023-11, establishes the taxable value and sets the ad valorem rate. The certified total taxable value of $2,888,498,573 provided by the Property Appraiser's Office is $351,009,664 more than last year's certified taxable value of $2,588,498,573. $537,488,909. The 13.8% increase in taxable value is due to an increase in property values along with an increase in new construction. The millage rate of 6.300 mils applicable to the general fund levy for fiscal year 2024 is 12.3% greater than the calculated rollback millage rate pursuant to Section 200.0651 Florida statutes of 5.6067 mils that generates the same amount of property tax revenue as last year on existing real and personal property. The property tax rate of 6.300 mils set by ordinance 2023-11 would generate $17,469,639 of ad valorem revenue, or $2,101,793 more than fiscal year 2023. The proposed ordinance set the millage rate of 6.300 mils and appropriate $63,713,745 for the operation of the city's fiscal year 2024 budget. The first budget hearing was advertised in the preliminary tax assessment notices required by Florida statutes 200.065 and held on September the 5th, 2023. Council approved ordinance 2023-11 on first reading. The second hearing to set the millage rate and adopt the 2024 budget is scheduled for this evening, September 18th, 2023 at 6 p.m. at the Green Acres City Hall. Staff is recommending approval of ordinance 2023-11 on second reading.
Thank you, City Manager McHugh. Before I proceed, I'm going to ask our city clerk a point of order. When we did the agenda approval, was that an agenda approval with the change of those two items, or was it just simply a motion to move those two items? So I guess my point of clarity is, did we actually approve the agenda?
Yes. No, we did not. Yes.
Mayor, to the extent there's any doubt about it, you can request a motion specifically approving the agenda, and that way the record will be clear.
Perfect.
Excuse me.
Let's,
Move that we approve the agenda
excellent.
as adjusted.
Second?
All right, so I have a motion made by Councilmember, Deputy Mayor Noble, second by Councilmember Diaz. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, do we need to read that statement into the record again?
I think we're clear. I think the record
we're
should be
good.
clear at this point now. Thank you.
That would
I
be
do
pretty
think-
funny though, right?
Mayor, I do think it should be, we should clarify that we are going back into the budget hearing for ordinance number 2023-11, second reading.
Perfect, so we're in a public hearing. Our first item tonight, are there any comments or questions from the council?
I'd like to make a comment. to bring
Deputy
up-
Mayor Noble.
Yes, as mentioned, the income that we're getting from our ad valorem taxes, the taxes that our citizens pay, is $17 million. And although I don't remember the number, to run the city every year runs about $30 million. So one day we'll answer how we do that, how we do the magic.
Are there any other comments?
Terry, our Director of Finance is a genius. That's how we do it. She deserves all the credit.
Are there any other comments or questions from the council? At this point in time, I'd like to open public hearing for ordinance 2023-11, second reading. Anyone wishing to speak in favor of the ordinance, please come forward, state your name and address for the record. All right, seeing none, anyone wishing to speak in opposition of the ordinance, please come forward, state your name and address for the record. Seeing none, public hearing is now closed.
I'd like to make a motion to approve ordinance 2023-11 on second reading.
Second.
All right, a motion made by Councilmember Tharp, second by Councilmember Busquet. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, that motion carries 4-0. All right, we are now moving on to our second item, public hearing for ordinance 2023-12, second reading. If I can have our city clerk, please read the ordinance by title.
Ordinance 2023-12, second reading, adopting an operating budget for the fiscal year beginning October 1, 2023, and ending September 30 of 2024, providing for repeal of conflicting ordinances, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. And once again, we have our Director of Finance, Sarah Berenger, and our City Manager Andrew McHugh presenting.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. Before I read the much shorter version for the second ordinance, I just wanted to take a moment to thank all of you for your leadership through this process, for being, we like we know that we're good stewards of our taxpayers' dollars, and that really flows from your leadership, so we are grateful for that. Additionally, want to thank our directors for all their hard work in putting their budgets together. It was not an easy task this year, but as they always do, they were up for it, and they did amazingly well. And then last but definitely not least, our Director of Finance. She keeps us going every day, and we are very grateful for all of her hard work every day. And we are in the shape that we're in because of her. So very grateful for that. So that being said, the second ordinance, 2023-12, adopts an operating budget for the fiscal year beginning October 1, 2023, and ending September 30, 2024. The proposed budget appropriated revenues and expenditures from $73,013,015 in fiscal year '23 to $63,713,745 in fiscal year '24. The proposed ordinance set the total millage at 6.3 mils and appropriates $63,713,745 for the operation of the city's fiscal year 2024 budget. Staff is recommending approval of ordinance 2023-12.
Thank you. Are there any comments or questions from the council? Seeing none. At this point in time, I'd like to open public hearing for ordinance 2023-12, second reading. Anyone wishing to speak in favor of the ordinance, please come forward and state your name and address for the record. Anyone wishing to speak in opposition of the ordinance, please come forward, state your name and address for the record. Seeing none, public hearing is now closed. And before I'll entertain a motion, I do want to clarify that budgets are not usually this easy. There has been a lot of lead up to today. Our staff has done a tremendous job, as you heard our city manager say. Terry, thank you for your leadership throughout the process. You always do a great job. You make it very easy for us. But this is work that has been leading up to today, so that's why it's going so smooth. Well, I hope. At this point in time, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve ordinance 2023-12, second reading.
Second.
All right. Once again, I have Councilmember Tharp and have a motion made by Councilmember Tharp, second by Councilmember Busquet. All in favor?
Aye.
Peter? All right, that motion carries 4-0. All right. Once again, thank you so much for your leadership. Anyone that wishes to join me, please do so. All right, this is the fun part of the meeting. We have 3 proclamations tonight under our special business. Our first one tonight is National Hispanic Heritage Month for 2023. Tonight we have the agenda, we have 3 individuals, but I see a 4th that has joined us. So I'm gonna ask that these individuals join me. I'm going to ask Maria Antuña from the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce of Palm Beach County, Juan Pagan from the Florida Hispanic American Chamber of Commerce and Fiesta de Pueblo, Mariano Garcia, the Palm Beach County Hispanic Bar Association, and we also have Jorge Garrido from Latino Vote. Please join us up here. I'm going to ask that our city clerk please read the proclamation by title.
Proclamation of the City Council of the City of Green Acres proclaiming September 15 through October 15, 2023 as National Hispanic Heritage Month. From America's earliest days, Hispanic Americans have played a prominent and important role in our national heritage. Hispanic Americans lift our communities and our economy as entrepreneurs, executives, and small business owners, and make contributions in areas of science, art, music, politics, academia, government, and sports. Hispanic Americans strengthen our bonds with Latin American neighbors with whom we share a rich history. Therefore, the City of Green Acres do hereby proclaim September 15 through October 15, 2023 as National Hispanic Heritage Month. Thank you.
If you've been to a council meeting before, you know everything about the chairs. Please join around me, and we'll take some pictures, and I'll let you guys speak.
I like it like that, actually.
I'm going to ask first, let's see, Maria Antuña from the Hispanic Chamber, if you want to share a few words.
I am Hispanic and I can speak fast. Thank you, Mayor Flores and council members, for recognizing Hispanic Heritage Month, and thank you for all that you do for the Hispanic community. I would like to quickly share with you some statistics that nationally in Palm Beach County and more so in Green Acres. Hispanics represent approximately 24.2% of Palm Beach County. Hispanics are the second largest ethnic group in the United States and the largest minority group in the United States. In 2021, which was after the census of 2020, about 62.65 million people of Hispanic origin were living in the U.S., a number that has been steadily increasing in the last decades. Nationwide, Hispanic households are estimated to contribute $139 billion in federal taxes and almost $76 billion in state and local taxes. That means in total, Hispanics pay $250 billion in taxes each year. The contribution of Hispanic immigrants to that total is quite notable. We represent approximately 22% of the workforce nationally. The total economic output of Hispanic Americans is estimated to be well over $2 trillion, and Hispanic Americans alone account for over half of all the population growth in the United States over the last decade. Hispanic workers are strongly engaged with the U.S. labor market. In Palm Beach County, Hispanics represent approximately 24%, which is a tremendous impact economically. In Green Acres, Hispanics represent over 50% of the population. Think about that, over 50%. Now think about the economic impact Hispanics do in Green Acres. Again, thank you, Mayor Flores and council member, for all your contribution to the Hispanic community.
Juan Pagan from the Florida Hispanic American Chamber.
Buenas noches. Good. I want to make sure you were awake. One of the things, I've been a resident of this county for over, we don't want to talk about age, but over 30 years now. My company transferred me here back in 80-something, and I've been here. And my daughters went to school here, and they're still around, and all that. Now I'm a grandpa here, too. So and the most important part of that, if I have known that grandchildren were so amazing and awesome, I would have them first. That's what it's all about. Well, every year from September 15 to October 15, we celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month across the United States to highlight the history and honor of the contribution of Hispanics or Latinos to American society. The celebration started as Hispanic Heritage Week back in 1968 under President Lyndon Johnson. It was expanded to a month-long observance on September 17, 1988 under President Ronald Reagan. The timing was purposely set to correspond with the National Independence Days from Spain in various Latin American countries, including Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua on September 15, Mexico on September 16, Chile on September 18. But in reality, Hispanic celebration, Heritage Month, it's not a month. Even leap years, it's 366 days a year, no matter where you go, no matter where you are. We celebrate that all the time. Hispanic Latino residents on the state of Florida are of Hispanic or Latino ancestry, as the 2020 census, Latinos raised like Maria was talking, 26%, 27% of the population. In Palm Beach County, about 24%, and growing over 334,000 in our school district. For the first time, Hispanics are the largest minority, over 37% of 190,000 students. So that's a big gain, over there. The total economic output, or gross domestic product, what they call GDP, a gross domestic product for Latinos in the United States, totally, in 2020, 2.8 trillion. I never seen so many zeros on my checkbook. So that's, that's up 1.7 trillion from 2010. If the population Latino in the United States where it's our own country, it would be the 5th largest GDP in the world. That is larger than the GDPs of France, India, and the United Kingdom, according to the Latino Donor Collaborative 2022 Latino GDP report. 46% of the residents here are Hispanic descent. 61% of the people in Palm Springs are Hispanic descent. Lake Worth Beach, about 48% of them, and West Palm Beach, about 25%. So that's where we are. We are here to stay. We're here to continue going forward, and we're looking forward to continue working together. And as a matter of fact, that's what we've been holding in this city, the largest multicultural event since year 2012, Fiesta de Pueblo, and continues to grow. And the last one we have representation over many years, 21 countries, all the way from beautiful Mexico to dancing the tango in Argentina. Yes, and including Uruguay, even if you don't want to be, And the whole thing, then we go to the Caribbean, there we do dance bachata, merengue, and salsa, So it is about being together and contributing to the whole city. Thank you very much, Mayor, Council people. So we love you. Let's keep it going.
Mariano Garcia from the Palm Beach County Hispanic Bar Association.
Thank you very much, Mayor. I join my colleagues in thanking this wonderful council for this beautiful proclamation today. It's wonderful to be here tonight. But none of this would be possible without the fact that the United States of America welcomed my family to this country and gave us an opportunity to thrive and persevere. So it's wonderful for us to acknowledge the fact that we have Hispanic heritage and it plays such a big role in this country, but it would not have been possible without the United States welcoming us with such open arms. So thank you very much for this wonderful event, and appreciate it.
Jorge, do you want to say a few words?
I wasn't ready with a speech. I just came here to support Maria. But this is amazing. I mean, you look around this room and the diversity that you see, right? There's nowhere else in the world where so many people from so many parts of the world are given the opportunities that you get in the United States. So, Hispanic Heritage Month is really a celebration of the greatness of this country, like Mariano said. You can come here with nothing, you get opportunity, and the fact that we can contribute so much to this nation is because of the opportunities that we're given. So, we're blessed to live in the United States of America. We're blessed to be in a city like this that embraces diversity. And as part of the Hispanic vote and, all of our friends here, really thank you so much for having us. And thank you for embracing our community, all the members of our community. Thank you.
All right. We are now moving to our next proclamation, and this is truly an honor and a milestone that we get to celebrate here today. I had the pleasure of meeting this group 7 years ago when I took over office, and I can honestly say I'm proud that our paths crossed. It's been amazing how we've been able to share so many things at the city, how we have rolled up our sleeves. We have, with the kids, we've cleaned the roads, we've tackled small little issues together, and we really have acted as a community. And these folks are Legacy Church. Today, this month, they're celebrating their 50th golden anniversary on October 7th of 2023. So let's give them a big round of applause. Today we have Dr. David Donnelly, the pastor and president of Legacy Church, and his wife and his team are here. So I'm going to ask them to please come join me while I have our city clerk please read the proclamation into the record.
Proclamation of the City Council of the City of Green Acres, proclaiming October 7, 2023 as Legacy Church Ministries' 50th Golden Anniversary. Legacy Church Ministries was organized in Green Acres in 1973 under the leadership of Drs. Chadwick and Miriam Donnelly as Highland Bible Chapel. The name was changed to Evangelical Bible Chapel in 1975, to EBC Ministries in 2003, and in 2016 it was changed to its current name, Legacy Church Ministries. The people of Legacy Church, Green Acres Christian Academy, Evangelical Bible College, and Seminary sought additional ways to serve the community. They have worked with the city for over 25 years. Legacy Church Ministries of Green Acres seeks to continue to be a pillar in the community and a light to all. The City of Green Acres do hereby proclaim October 7, 2023 as Legacy Church Ministries' 50th Golden Anniversary in the City of Green Acres. Thank you.
Pastor, would you like to come up and share a few words?
Notice you didn't see that for anybody else. After a microphone, you make sure you go like this. And the dangerous thing is, I don't have any notes. That's even more scary. But I just want to say a couple of things. First of all, thank you to the council. Thank you for recognizing that ministries are important. Many times we forget all that ministries do, but from feeding the poor, from reaching out to other countries, as remember we packed the trailers, as helping the community clean up our school. Pastor Fritz is over there hiding for some reason. He's a behind-the-scenes guy, but taking the kids and teaching them to be community-minded in the day school. So our day school is celebrating 43 years. Our Bible college is 48 years, and the church is 50 years, and our Ministers Association is 20 years. So we've been around for a while. I was sharing with Mayor, we've been here since Quigley. And he said, who? No, I'm just kidding. He didn't say that. He didn't say that. But we started in Green Acres. I went to school at Green Acres Elementary before they knocked it down. That's basically because I had been there, so there was no reason to keep the school after I left. And so I went to Green Acres Elementary. I went to Jeff Davis Middle School, and then I went to good old John I. Leonard High School where I graduated. And I met my lovely wife there, and we've been married 46 years. And I tell people this because things that I believe God lays the foundation, they last. We celebrated Hispanic Heritage Month, and I think this in my mind. We live in such a great country, we can celebrate each other. We can celebrate even our differences. We've worked hand in hand even with different communities, the Jewish community. We've worked hand in hand with people that may not be exactly of the same faith that we are, but we have the same ideals, and that is to help our community. So through our church, through our day school, through our Bible college, through our Ministers Association, through our counseling center, and through our food program, we're reaching out, and we believe that we've made an impact in this city, and probably county, and probably the world. I know that may sound boastful, and it's hard for me to say, but 12 different countries we have ministries. Many, I would say 15 different denominations, and you have to understand Christian denominations to understand what a miracle that is, to get Baptists and Pentecostals to work together. It's harder than to get a Democrat and a Republican to work together. I'm being honest. Anybody in church know what I'm saying? Give me an amen. All right, so we are thankful for what God has used us to do, and we look forward to doing many more years of working side by side with our community to just make Green Acres, as the old song says, the place to be. Okay? Okay. The sad thing is, half the people didn't get that reference because you're not old enough. We were around before you could shoot somebody.
All right, thank you guys so much for everything that you've done for the city. Is there any other comments from the council? No. Thank you again. All right, and we have one last proclamation, so I'm going to ask you to stick around while we do this last one. This next one, we get to recognize the Dream Team, our IT department, who does a wonderful job of securing our network and making sure that we have all the information protected. They're always on us, making sure that we don't click on the wrong link, so we really appreciate that. Absolutely. So if I can ask, have our city clerk please read the IT Professionals Day proclamation.
Proclamation of the City Council of the City of Green Acres, proclaiming September 19, 2023 as National Information Technology Professionals Day and October 2023 as National Cybersecurity Awareness Month. National IT Professionals Day was created in 2015 in an effort to show appreciation for the tech wizards who take care of the nuts and bolts so that the average worker station stays hooked up to the company's network and operates flawlessly. It takes a solid set of skills and talent to fill the shoes of an IT pro. So today we say thank you to the people who come to fix all of our devices. Therefore, the city now proclaims September 19, 2023 as National IT Professionals Day and October 2023 as Cybersecurity Awareness Month in the city of Green Acres. And we encourage all of the residents to use the hashtag National IT Professionals Day on their social media accounts to thank all of the IT professionals for all of the hard work that they do. Thank you.
Just want to remind everyone, if you want your computers to be fixed on a timely manner, these guys like coffee, all right? They like to be they like to be received very warmly, especially when they show up. So no, but and what? And snacks, absolutely. So anyways, on behalf of the city, thank you for what you guys do for our team. We truly depend on you guys, and I know the council really appreciates all of your hard work. Thank you. A picture? All right, let's do it quick.
All right, let's do it.
Remember, there is power and strength in unity. There you go. All right, anyone else? I know, that's what I was thinking. All right, if you were, all right, we're now moving to the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve consent agenda?
Second.
All right, motion made by Councilmember Diaz, second by Councilmember Bousquet. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, that motion carries 4-0. Our next item is our regular agenda. If you're keeping track at home, item 15 and 16 have been moved to our next meeting, and then the only item that we have today is the board appointment. Today we have City Manager Andrew McHugh presenting.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. At the August 21st, 2023 City Council meeting, the council approved Resolution 2023-31 establishing an Education Advisory Committee. The resolution provided that one council member shall serve as liaison to the committee but has no voting power. Staff is recommending appointment of one member of the city council to serve as the council liaison to the Education Advisory Committee.
Thank you. If I can make a quick, brief comment, and then I'll turn it over to Deputy Mayor Noble. This was an idea and something that Council Member Diaz had brought up. I think it's only right that I think we make her the liaison if she so agrees, but I will have Deputy Mayor Noble speak.
Well, I heard city manager mention the position, but no name, so that's what I was looking for. Are you recommending?
No, there's no recommendation from staff. The council would appoint who the liaison would be to the Education Advisory Committee.
So that's what we're doing right now.
Correct.
And the mayor has suggested Suzie Diaz, is that correct?
That's my recommendation, since she's the one that brought up the idea of creating this board.
Well, I second that.
I'm going to go to Councilmember Tharp.
I was going to second it, so I think Councilmember Diaz has done an amazing job, and I think it's only right, so.
Yeah,
Councilmember Busquet.
I think without question, it's Councilmember Diaz. She has, everything she does, she just goes at it with such tenacity, and I think she'd be great at the job.
Councilmember Diaz.
I am honored that the council would choose me, and I accept the suggestion, not lightly. I feel that, sometimes when we have negative situations that occur, we can go one of two ways. I'm so grateful that the council recognized the situation that occurred with our redistricting and the boundary issue, that you recognized that we had an opportunity to grow and to come together and figure out a solution so that a situation like that doesn't happen to our children again. So I want to thank the council for passing the Education Advisory Committee, as well as for the faith that you're putting in me in this position.
Thank you. So I have a motion made by Deputy Mayor Noble, second by Councilmember Tharp. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, that motion carries
Want to make one comment?
4-0. Deputy Mayor Noble.
The comment that I want to make is that this Educational Advisory Committee is a very complex committee and requires people who are going to seriously work in this committee. And I think it's going to be a lot of effort on our part. It's going to be a challenge to get persons to be on that committee. So we should be alerted to that, the fact that this committee is going to require a lot of attention.
Thank you. I think we have the right person for the job, so. All right, thank you. Our next item is a discussion item. It's item 18, diversity celebration, and this was brought up to me, or it's under my discussion item. This was brought up by a group maybe a month ago. I think that's when it was brought up. Basically, this group, I see some folks here today, wanted to put a figure in one of on the parks celebrating their particular heritage. I saw this as an opportunity for us to celebrate the diversity in the city of Green Acres. We are a very diverse city. And I thought this could open the doors for a conversation, and that's truly what I want to have today, a sharing of thoughts. I don't know what this could look like, and I don't have any specific concept in mind. I think in my head what I was truly thinking was giving the community an opportunity to have a small sample of their heritage, and I don't know what that looks like. I know that they had an event about a week or two ago at the Green Acres Community Park, and they have many different flags from many different countries that were being represented there. I thought that was that was a pretty neat idea. And I think being able to celebrate the diversity in the city would be a nice thing to do. Once again, I don't know what that looks like. I don't know if it's flags or if it's a bust, recognizing an individual for someone in their country. But I just wanted to have the idea if anybody in this council would have an appetite. Today we're celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month, but there's so many different subgroups in the city that are represented. And I think just making our city into a welcoming of diversity, I just think it's a nice touch. And as we can see from our numbers from the census, we are a very diverse community. So I just thought that it would, that sort of opened the conversation and just see what the thoughts of the council would be to create something that we could, doesn't have to be anything large. I'm not foreseeing anything, but sort of like a walk or something that as you're walking the park or the trail, you can kind of, we recognize the diversity in Green Acres. I'm going to open it up for discussion. I have Councilmember Tharp.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I agree. I think it's a great thing. I think there's a lot that we can offer. I love history. I'd love to learn more about individuals and different cultures. I know the city of now Lake Worth Beach does something for their Finnish American group, so I think there's definitely a way to do something. I think my concern is what if somebody wants to do something that is what we would consider by today's standards very questionable in nature, and I'm not saying that they will, but if you open up this program, how do you limit and safeguard it to protect against certain people that we may not want to have a remembrance to? I think that's my only concern. I think it's a great idea. I think we need to move forward, but I think we need to move forward very cautiously to protect ourselves.
I couldn't agree more. I think it would have to have very set, specific parameters in how we do it, and it has to be in my opinion, it has to be in a uniform, unison way. Councilmember Diaz.
Thank you, Mayor. I agree with Councilmember Tharp. I do think it would be, I think it's fitting that the city of Green Acres does have something that is recognizing how multicultural we are as a city. I would be hesitant to do anything that would necessarily recognize or memorialize a specific person. I'm not sure if, what we have in the past that may have come forward or what we would look at in the future if we're setting any sort of precedent. But I do feel that there are many ways, and maybe we need to see what's already out there from a art and public places perspective that can absolutely serve as a model or as a sample of some ideas that we can honor all of our cultures in a very respectful way, while ensuring we know that every culture, there's within each culture, there's those that like a certain thing and those that don't. And so I think we just have to be open-minded to not necessarily doing something around a specific individual or even a specific culture, but make sure that it is something that truly represents our multicultural city.
Thank you. Councilmember Busquet?
I can't imagine what that looks like. I agree with you. I agree with Mr. Thorpe, but I just can't imagine what that looks like. You want to do a walkway with engravings in the concrete or bricks?
If that question is specifically to me, I don't have ownership of a specific concept. I think what we should do is, if we do want to create something either through our arts program or create something that celebrates diversity in Green Acres, then I think we should pass it to our staff to do some research and see what we can do. Also, something that's not very costly. That's just my personal idea. I know that Deputy Mayor Noble wants to speak, and then Councilmember Thurp.
Well, I just want to bring out two words. We talk diversity, but we don't want to be divisive. And we don't want to have isolated groups maintaining this isolation, which is not cohesive to the fact that was mentioned earlier. It's all funneled into the United States and the opportunities that have been created here for everyone. And so it should be recognizing the groups, recognizing their talents, but maybe add how that is all funneled into how we have become a better city or a better country. And again, it should not be divisive and should not isolate groups.
I couldn't agree more. Councilmember Tharp.
Just as a thought, as you had mentioned, a walkway, like our storyboards around the walking path. Like if you had dedicated one per cultural background, country, something along those lines, might be something interesting. Learn a little bit while you walk.
I think that would be the concept. So,
Mayor, if I can?
yeah, City Manager McHugh.
I think, staff, we can look at some different options, maybe in conjunction with our art in public places or something like that. I think the one thing to take into consideration when you're looking at celebrating diversity and there's 195 countries in the world. And I think that when you look at, 195 countries and looking at potentially doing something like a story walk or something like that, I think that there are going to be some challenges because remember, 6 square miles, we don't have a ton of space. So I think the one thing us as staff we're going to look at is potentially looking at something if the council's directing us to do some research. We'll go out and do some research, but I think something that celebrates the diversity of our community, the contributions that diversity has provided to the community and makes up who we are as a community. I think that's what we should probably look at and work towards. But I think that something where, again, I think we can't look at, we look at our demographics and we see what ethnicities or where we're represented from that demographic perspective, that I think that it would be a challenge for us to just say we're going to stick within the demographics that were represented based on the census. I think that we're going to have to look at it globally, and I think that we'll absolutely take a look at that and bring something back before the council to consider, if okay.
All right, so I'm going to get a quick consensus. I'm going to start to my left. Councilmember Busquet.
I think it's a great idea to send it to staff.
Okay. Councilmember Diaz.
Agree, send it to staff, please.
Deputy Mayor Noble.
I don't think it should be a big project. It should be a small project and not very difficult to put together. I won't want to make it something that will get out of control.
Is that a yes or no?
Maybe.
All right.
I'm a yes.
All right, so we have 3 yeses, so let's have our staff take a look at a program. Thank you. All right, at this point in time, are there any comments from the public? Please come forward, state your name and address for the record. This is comments from the public on non-agenda items. Anyone wishing to speak, please come forward, state your name and address for the record. No? All right, moving on to the city manager's report. City Manager McHugh.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple of items, couple reminders first. We do have our next community conversation on the 20th of September this week from 6:30 to 8. The topic is going beyond good. So I think that it's going to be a really good community conversation. So again, that's the 20th this week from 6:30 to 8 at the community center. Additionally, we do have a senior resource fair at the community center coming up. That's going to be on the 30th of September from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So we're going to have a lot of providers there, a lot of resources for our seniors. So that should be a really great event on the 30th. Additionally, just a reminder, in your packets at the second meeting of every month, there are department reports for every department providing updates. There's a lot of information I would love to be able to share regarding revenue that's being brought in and, rentals of facilities and projects being worked on and different things like that. We don't have a lot of time, but I wanted to just make sure that I reminded you guys that that information is in the second meeting packet of every month from all the departments, just to be able to stay on top of some of that information. And last, there's been a lot of discussion regarding the 1 penny sales surtax. The city recently received resolutions adopted by the council for the city of Atlantis and also the village of Tequesta. They did pass resolutions expressing support for the extension of the Palm Beach County 1 cent sales surtax to fund local infrastructure projects. Wanted to get a feel from the council to see if they wanted to bring something forward here at the city to provide as well. I know that there's been some discussion at the League of Cities level. I will say, just as a reminder, the city did receive $23 million in infrastructure surtax funds that, while the city has a really fantastic capital program, there were a lot of really amazing quality of life projects that the city was able to do as part of that 1 penny surtax. I do understand that the school district is interested in continuing their portion of the 1 penny. And just a reminder of the breakdown, the school district of Palm Beach County received 50%, which I think equated to over $1 billion that the district received. And then additionally, Palm Beach County received 30%, and the 39 Palm Beach County municipalities shared 20%. So of that 20% share, amongst the 39 municipalities, Green Acres received $23 million. So that is looking to be sunsetting over the next year or so. So I wanted to just bring this to the council's attention to see if there was interest in Green Acres also passing a resolution as well in support of continuing the 1 penny surtax.
Are there any comments from the council?
Can we discuss it now?
This is our time, so, yes.
Well, I agree.
I'd like to make a comment.
Deputy Mayor Noble.
I'm sure the $23 million is coming in handy, and I'm sure every city is looking forward to it. And I also think it would be very helpful for the city. The problem is we're going to get addicted to that money, and then one day it will stop, and then everyone's going to figure out how they're going to maintain all the infrastructure and all the salaries they put on their board, on their records. So effectively what I'm saying is, yes, I am in favor of the 1 cent, but we should be cautious.
I think there was another comment, Councilmember Busquet?
No, I'm fully in favor of it. I don't see a downside at all.
I'm in favor.
Councilmember Diaz?
I'm in favor.
I'm in favor of resolution.
I am, I am in favor, but we sold this to the public as a 10-year with a sunset, and now we're asking them to extend it again. I am in the same boat as Deputy Mayor Noble. I think we should be cautious, and I think we need to know exactly what that money is going to be for. We keep asking the taxpayers to continue to pay higher taxes. I think it's only right that we tell them exactly what this funding is going to be for. I think we have used and we have upgraded some of our facilities, but I would really like to know exactly what we're going to do with that money. I think we need to be very prudent. I think, taxes continue to go up for everyone. I think insurance is through the roof. I think a lot of our workforce is moving out of Palm Beach County. A lot of our workforce is moving out of Green Acres, and we take great pride in that. We're the workforce section of the county. But if we continue to increase taxes and continue to have, it's going to play an impact in our folks' pocket. And if we're going to ask them to pay a tax, I just want to make sure that we really understand what that money is going to be utilized on, how it's going to improve their life. So that's my only concern, and I want to make sure that when we decide that we're going to go before the voters to ask them for another penny, we need to understand where that's going from. And I understand that the sales tax is primarily done or paid for by tourists, and that's always great. But every time you go to the store, you're paying that extra penny. And for some folks, it plays a major impact in their life. So, but I'm forward. I am okay with moving forward and expressing that we are interested in doing that again. Any other comments or Councilmember Diaz?
I do have a question, Mayor, and as our representative on the TPA. I did see recently a survey that came out from the TPA, and a couple of the questions on that survey were specifically discussing a surtax for transportation or a sales tax for transportation. Is there anything that you know internally from sitting on the TPA that maybe you can share with us? My concern is if this is going to sunset, and in lieu of this, the county is looking at doing some sort of a transportation surtax, my concerns is making sure that Green Acres would receive what we need to receive from those dollars, and that they're not just being allocated to certain projects to better certain surrounding communities, and not evenly the dollars not evenly being distributed among the municipalities that would contribute to that tax. So that's where I'm leaning more towards the sales tax. That's one of my reasons.
So basically, there's a few groups out in the county lobbying to have the penny, the 1% sales tax go to them. The TPA is also considering that. I know the county has been having discussions about that. The reasoning behind transportation that they're looking at that is because there are many federal dollars that are available, many grant opportunities, but without a matching set of dollars, we are not able to apply. So a lot of these request that you have a matching set of dollars coming in, and without those, you can't apply. So I think the county and the TPA feels that we're missing out on dollars that could possibly come into this county because we don't have a mechanism such as Broward and Miami-Dade. So there's many different groups out there that are looking for assistance. I think the county has probably not made a decision at this time. So, but once again, it's to me, whether it's for the TPA, the schools, the cities, I just want to make sure that we have a clear understanding that there is a gain for the community when we are approving taxing our folks. Because when this was sold to them 7-8 years ago, I think it was right before I got elected, if I'm correct. So just want to make sure that we understand what, especially from our city, from the city standpoint, what is it that we need the dollars for, and what is it that we're going to promise our folks. So last time it was, when it got approved, we sort of figured it out after what we were going to use the dollars. I would like us to have a game plan and know exactly what the dollars are going to be spent. If it was me voting, I want to know what I'm voting for. And that's where I stand. I want to make sure that our residents know exactly what they're voting for. That's my message. Anything else? Thank you for the question. Deputy Mayor.
If that's your message, is that going to the city manager? Is she going to now prepare what projects could be the money used for?
I think tonight we're just simply saying that we're going to write a letter basically supporting expending the penny sales tax. I don't think we're moving forward, but if this does become a ballot initiative, I think this council should sort of decide what is it that we're asking the taxpayers.
All right, so that's at a later date, okay.
And Mayor, if I can, when you're done.
City Manager McHugh.
As part of the law that was written as part of this one penny surtax, it was required of the municipalities to provide a detail of how the funds would be spent, which was part of, I believe, it was supporting documentation, and all the municipalities, the school district, the county, had to provide itemized lists of how these funds would be spent. Now, granted, there were categories capital-related, different types of categories within the law that would allow for it, but Green Acres did provide a list of projects. Additionally, every year since, because there is a surtax oversight committee that reviews the projects to make sure that we're in compliance with the requirements of the law and the projects are allowable under the law. And then additionally, we go back after every year to show our spend to make sure that we're staying within that framework. So we do have all of the documentation for whatever that 10-year period would have been that shows every project for every year, the spend down that was done each year for the projects, when the projects were closed out, the total cost of the project. And that all goes through the County Oversight Committee. Municipalities could establish their own oversight committee or go through Palm Beach County. Green Acres opted to go through Palm Beach County. So I would anticipate that that would be the same thought going forward if this was something that was going to be continued. That would be the same process that would be considered.
Any other comments or questions from the council? I think that was, I think you have consensus to write that letter,
Okay, thank you.
if I read the room correctly.
Okay,
Of the
thank you.
dais. Is that, does that conclude your comments, City Manager?
Yes, Mayor, that's it. Thank you.
And I'm going to apologize. We have our city attorney present, but I can't remember your name, so I
It's okay.
apologize.
Tanya Early. It's okay, I'm new. And Mayor, thank you for reintroducing me. I don't have any comments at this time.
Thank you. Moving on to the mayor's and the city council report. I'm going to start to my left, Councilmember Bousquet.
I have nothing.
Okay.
Mic is off.
Councilmember Diaz,
I have nothing, thank you.
Deputy Mayor Noble.
I have two items I just want to bring forward. I received a phone call the other day from a gentleman. His name was Joe. He lives in one of the Buttonwoods. Very unhappy with the city of Green Acres. He's lived here many years. It's related to the shutters, the shutter situation. You know, he invested money to put up his shutters, and now he has to make sure while he's away, because he's a snowbird, he has someone available to close and reopen, and maybe close and reopen again the shutters. And so there's a cost involved in that. Plus, he's finding as his electric cost is higher, 20 to 30%. He never had this problem in years gone by. And I think Joe represents a lot of people in the city, an issue that we should be aware of. There's no reason why we would have, and I'm going to guess, hundreds, if not thousands, of snowbirds who are in the same position and feel the same way. So we should keep this in mind. My second point is, since we have our computer people here, and I mentioned it to our computer manager, I have a friend, he put money, he got a 5% yield in an internet bank, and that was fine, until he went to get the money last week, and the money's gone. So somehow or another, someone hacked into his computer and set up a different bank account and withdrew the money out of that first bank, and now he's going through this problem. The point I'm bringing up is your computer, particularly young people that are here, do everything in their phone. When you get hacked, you're going to have a real problem. So be aware that this is very dangerous and challenging. That's it.
Thank you. Councilmember Tharp.
No report this evening.
And for the mayor's report, I just want to take the opportunity to share with the council members and our residents that on October 6th, we will be hosting a Hispanic Leadership Summit at Palm Beach State College, where we're gonna, it's basically in a recognition of Hispanic Heritage Month, but it's gonna be a discussion and a sharing of ideas with the Hispanic community. And our doors are open if you guys want to participate. We are expecting PBSO and some of the other folks around the county to be there. It's going to be a morning event from from 8 to about noon, but just want to extend the invitation to everyone here. With that being said, that concludes my report. Meeting's adjourned.